What if I told you that some of the foods you eat every single day, foods you think are healthy, foods you've been told are good for you, are quietly stealing your muscle mass? And after 60, you can't afford to lose a single ounce of muscle. I'm here today to talk about something that affects millions of seniors but rarely gets the attention it deserves: sarcopenia, age-related muscle loss. After 60, you naturally lose 3 to 8% of your muscle mass every decade. But here's what most people don't know. Certain foods accelerate that loss dramatically. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to reveal 7 hidden foods that are sabotaging your muscle mass, and more importantly, I'll tell you exactly what to eat instead. These aren't obscure health foods or expensive supplements. They're simple, accessible alternatives that can help you preserve and even build muscle well into your 70s, 80s, and beyond. Let me start with a fact that should get your attention. By age 80, if you do nothing to prevent it, you could lose up to 40% of the muscle mass you had at 30. That's not just about looking weaker, it's about independence. Muscle loss is directly linked to falls, fractures, loss of mobility, and the inability to live on your own. But here's the good news. Diet is one of the most powerful tools you have to fight back. The problem is, most people are unknowingly eating foods that work against them. You see, after 60, your body becomes less efficient at building and maintaining muscle. You need more protein than younger adults, your body becomes more sensitive to inflammatory foods, and your metabolism changes in ways that make certain foods particularly problematic. The 7 foods I'm about to share aren't just not ideal, they actively contribute to muscle breakdown. Some spike inflammation, some interfere with protein synthesis, others displace the nutrients you desperately need. So, let's dive in. And I promise, by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to remove from your kitchen and what to replace it with. Food number 1. Processed breakfast cereals. I know this one stings. Cereal feels like an easy, healthy breakfast. It's fortified with vitamins, right? But here's the problem. Most breakfast cereals, even the ones marketed as whole grain or heart healthy, are loaded with refined carbohydrates and sugar. When you eat these first thing in the morning, you spike your blood sugar dramatically, which triggers a cascade of hormonal responses that are terrible for muscle preservation. High sugar intake increases inflammation, and chronic inflammation directly interferes with your body's ability to build and maintain muscle. Studies show that high glycemic foods like refined cereals can impair muscle protein synthesis, the very process your body uses to repair and grow muscle tissue. But here's the worst part. Cereal is almost pure carbohydrates. After 60, you need significantly more protein than younger adults. Experts recommend at least 1 to 1.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight daily. If you're starting your day with cereal, you're missing a critical window for protein intake when your body needs it most. And let's talk about what cereal displaces. That bowl of Cheerios or Corn Flakes is taking up space in your stomach that could be filled with eggs, Greek yogurt, or other high-protein foods that actually support muscle health. Replace it with a high-protein breakfast. Think eggs with vegetables, Greek yogurt with nuts and berries, or a protein smoothie with whey protein, spinach, and banana. Aim for at least 25 to 30 grams of protein at breakfast. This jumpstarts muscle protein synthesis and sets you up for a muscle-preserving day. Food number 2. White bread and refined grains. White bread, white rice, pasta made from refined flour are staples in most American diets, but after 60, they're working against you. Refined grains have been stripped of fiber and nutrients. What's left is essentially pure starch that converts quickly to sugar in your bloodstream. This creates the same inflammatory response I just mentioned with cereal, but it's happening at lunch, at dinner, whenever you eat these foods. Chronic inflammation from refined carbs doesn't just interfere with muscle building, it actively promotes muscle breakdown. Your body releases inflammatory compounds called cytokines that signal muscle tissue to break down. Over time, this tips the balance from muscle maintenance to muscle loss. Plus, refined grains are nutrient-empty calories. They fill you up without providing the protein, healthy fats, and micronutrients your aging muscles desperately need. Replace it with whole grains and protein-rich alternatives. Switch to whole grain bread, real whole grain where you can see the kernels and seeds. Better yet, swap bread for alternatives like sweet potato, quinoa, or even cauliflower rice. And always pair your grains with a protein source. A sandwich isn't just bread and turkey, it's turkey with a small amount of whole grain bread. The protein is the star, the grain is the supporting player. Food number 3, sugary beverages and fruit juices. This includes sodas, sweet teas, energy drinks, and yes, even fruit juice. You might think fruit juice is healthy because it comes from fruit, but when you juice an orange, you remove the fiber and concentrate the sugar. An 8-ounce glass of orange juice has as much sugar as a candy bar, about 21 grams, with none of the fiber to slow its absorption. Liquid sugar is the worst form of sugar for your body. It bypasses satiety signals, spikes blood sugar faster than solid food, and creates massive insulin responses. Over time, this can lead to insulin resistance, which directly impairs your muscles' ability to absorb amino acids and build new tissue. Studies have shown that high sugar intake is associated with accelerated muscle loss in older adults. The inflammation, the insulin resistance, and the displacement of nutrient-dense calories all add up to weaker, smaller muscles. Replace it with water, unsweetened tea, and whole fruit. Hydration is crucial for muscle health. Muscles are 75% water. Drink plain water, unsweetened green tea, or black coffee. If you want fruit, eat the whole fruit. An orange gives you fiber, vitamins, and a much slower sugar release than juice ever could. And if you want flavor in your water, add lemon, cucumber, or a splash of real fruit. Food number 4, low-fat and fat-free products. For decades, we were told fat was the enemy, so the food industry created low-fat and fat-free versions of everything: yogurt, milk, salad dressing, cheese. But here's what they did. When they removed the fat, they added sugar and artificial ingredients to make the foods still taste good. Fat is not your enemy after 60. In fact, healthy fats are essential for muscle health. Your body needs fat to absorb fat-soluble vitamins like vitamin D, which is critical for muscle function. Low vitamin D levels are strongly associated with muscle weakness and loss in older adults. Plus, when you eat low-fat dairy products like fat-free yogurt, you're often eating a product loaded with added sugar. That 6-ounce container of low-fat fruit yogurt can have 20 grams of sugar or more, nearly as much as a candy bar. And let's be clear, dietary fat doesn't make you fat. Excess calories and inflammation make you fat. Healthy fats actually help with satiety, hormone production, and nutrient absorption, all things that support muscle maintenance. Replace it with full-fat dairy and healthy fat sources. Choose full-fat Greek yogurt, whole milk if you tolerate dairy, and don't fear cheese in moderation. Add healthy fats like avocados, nuts, seeds, olive oil, and fatty fish like salmon. These foods provide sustained energy, reduce inflammation, and help your body absorb the nutrients it needs to preserve muscle. Food number 5, processed meats. Bacon, hot dogs, deli meats, sausages, these are convenient protein sources, but they come with serious downsides. Processed meats are high in sodium, nitrates, and other preservatives that promote inflammation. While they do contain protein, the inflammatory load they bring cancels out many of the benefits. Studies have linked processed meat consumption to increased inflammation markers in the blood. And as we've discussed, chronic inflammation is a direct driver of muscle loss. Your body is in a constant state of low-level stress, breaking down tissue faster than it can rebuild it. Additionally, processed meats often displace healthier protein sources. If you're eating a hot dog for lunch, you're not eating grilled chicken, fish, or legumes, which all provide protein without the inflammatory baggage. Replace it with whole, unprocessed protein sources. Choose fresh chicken, turkey, beef, pork, fish, eggs, and plant-based proteins like beans, lentils, and tofu. These give you high-quality protein without the inflammatory compounds. And here's a tip. Batch cook. Grill several chicken breasts on Sunday and you'll have quick protein ready all week, just as convenient as deli meat, but infinitely better for your muscles. Food number 6. Alcohol in excess. Now, I'm not saying you need to give up your evening glass of wine entirely, but excessive alcohol consumption, defined as 1 drink per day for women or 2 for men, has significant negative impacts on muscle health. Alcohol interferes with protein synthesis. It disrupts the hormonal signals your body uses to build and repair muscle. It impairs your body's ability to absorb nutrients like vitamin D, magnesium, and B vitamins, all of which are crucial for muscle function. Heavy drinking also disrupts sleep, and poor sleep is directly linked to muscle loss. Your body does most of its muscle repair during deep sleep. Disrupt that, and you're sabotaging your recovery. Plus, alcohol is empty calories. Those drinks add up without providing any of the protein, vitamins, or minerals your aging body needs. And they often come with poor food choices, late-night snacks, high-sodium bar food, and so on. Replace it with moderation and muscle-supporting alternatives. If you enjoy alcohol, keep it to 1 drink a few times a week, not every night. Replace some of those evening drinks with alternatives that support muscle health. A protein shake, herbal tea with magnesium, or sparkling water with electrolytes. Your muscles and your sleep will thank you. Food number 7, fried foods and trans fats. French fries, fried chicken, donuts, anything deep fried or made with partially hydrogenated oils, these are muscle killers. Trans fats and the oxidized oils created during deep frying are some of the most inflammatory substances you can put in your body. They damage cell membranes, interfere with cellular communication, and promote systemic inflammation. When you eat fried foods regularly, you're creating an internal environment that's hostile to muscle preservation. Your body is constantly fighting inflammation instead of building and maintaining tissue. Fried foods are also incredibly calorie-dense without being nutrient-dense. They fill you up on empty calories, leaving no room for the protein, vegetables, and whole foods your muscles need. And here's the kicker. Fried foods often come with refined carbs. Think about it. Fried chicken with a biscuit, French fries with a burger on a white bun. It's a perfect storm of muscle-depleting foods all on one plate. Replace it with baked, grilled, or air-fried alternatives with healthy fats. You can still enjoy crispy, flavorful foods without deep frying. Bake your chicken with a coating of almond flour and spices. Roast your potatoes with olive oil instead of frying them. Use an air fryer to get that crispy texture without bathing food in damaged oils. And when you do use fat, choose olive oil, avocado oil, or coconut oil, fats that support rather than sabotage your health. Now let's step back and look at the bigger picture. You might be thinking, that's 7 things I can't eat. What's left? But I want to reframe this for you. This isn't about restriction, it's about replacement and optimization. Every single one of these foods can be swapped for something that actively supports your muscle health. You're not giving things up, you're upgrading. Here's the formula for muscle preservation after 60. First, prioritize protein at every meal. Aim for 25 to 30 grams of high-quality protein 3 times a day. This could be eggs at breakfast, chicken or fish at lunch, and lean beef or legumes at dinner. Your aging muscles are less responsive to protein, so you need more of it and you need it consistently. Second, choose whole, unprocessed foods. The closer a food is to its natural state, the better it is for you. An apple is better than applesauce. Grilled chicken is better than chicken nuggets. Brown rice is better than white rice. Simple. Third, include anti-inflammatory foods daily. Fatty fish like salmon, leafy greens, berries, nuts, olive oil, turmeric, these foods actively fight the inflammation that breaks down muscle. They're not just neutral, they're protective. Fourth, time your nutrients wisely. Your muscles are most receptive to protein within an hour or 2 of waking up and after any physical activity. Front-load your protein intake. Finally, stay hydrated, get enough sleep, and move your body. Nutrition is crucial, but it works best in combination with resistance exercise and adequate recovery. So, how do you actually do this? Let me give you a simple one-day example of muscle-preserving eating. Breakfast. 3-egg omelet with spinach, tomatoes, and a sprinkle of cheese. Side of berries, black coffee or green tea. That's about 30 grams of protein, healthy fats, and anti-inflammatory nutrients right out of the gate. Mid-morning snack, Greek yogurt with a handful of walnuts and a drizzle of honey. Another 15 grams of protein plus healthy fats. Lunch, grilled salmon over mixed greens with olive oil and lemon dressing. Side of quinoa, about 35 grams of protein, omega-3s, fiber, and whole grains. Afternoon snack, apple slices with almond butter. Protein, healthy fat, and whole fruit. Dinner, grass-fed beef stir-fry with broccoli, bell peppers, and brown rice. Another 30 grams of protein, tons of vegetables, and anti-inflammatory nutrients. Evening, herbal tea with a small handful of mixed nuts. Notice what's missing? All 7 of the muscle-depleting foods we talked about. And notice what's there. Protein at every meal, whole foods, healthy fats, and plenty of vegetables. This isn't a diet, it's a sustainable way of eating that supports your body's needs after 60. You're not counting calories obsessively or cutting out entire food groups. You're simply choosing foods that build you up instead of tearing you down. And here's the best part. When you eat this way, you'll feel the difference. More energy, less inflammation, better recovery from activity, and over time, stronger muscles and better mobility. Here's the truth about muscle loss after 60. It's not entirely preventable, but it is largely controllable. The 7 foods I shared today, processed cereals, refined grains, sugary drinks, low-fat products, processed meats, excessive alcohol, and fried foods, they're common, they're sneaky, and they're sabotaging millions of seniors' muscle health every single day. But now you know, and knowing is the first step. Your action plan is simple. Go through your kitchen this week. Remove or reduce these 7 categories, replace them with whole, protein-rich, anti-inflammatory alternatives, and give your body what it actually needs to preserve and build muscle. Your future self, the one who's still climbing stairs without holding the railing, still picking up grandkids, still living independently at 80, will thank you for the changes you make today. If you found this helpful, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more practical health advice for life after 60. And drop a comment. Tell me which food surprised you most or which swap you're going to make first. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.